The Celestial Academy was the most prestigious institution in the known galaxy. Only the elite attended, children of senators, corporate heirs, offspring of military commanders. Species from 100 worlds sent their best and brightest to study diplomacy, warfare, and commerce among the stars. Zira didn't belong there. She was Valerie, a species from a shattered world. Her people had lost their war, lost their colonies, lost everything. Now they were refugees, scattered across the galaxy, clinging to survival in station slums and charity ships. But Zira had scored impossibly high on the entrance exams, earning a scholarship through pure merit. The other students made sure she knew she wasn't welcome. They excluded her from study groups. Accidentally spilled chemicals on her assignments. Whispered, "Worthless refugee," when she passed. But the worst was the cafeteria. The Academy's meal plan required credits Zira didn't have. Her scholarship covered tuition, nothing more. She'd been rationing protein bars for weeks, growing thinner, weaker. Her gray skin had taken on a sickly pallor, her forearms trembling with malnutrition. The wealthy students noticed. And they laughed. "Look at the charity case," Drex, a Corthan senator's son, announced during lunch. "Too poor to even eat. Maybe she should beg like her people do on the stations." His friends roared with laughter. Zira kept her head down, clutching her empty tray, trying to become invisible. "Hey, refugee," a Silixian girl called out. "My family's waste disposal eats better than you." More laughter. Zira's eyes burned, but she wouldn't give them tears. She turned to leave. "Wait." The cafeteria fell silent. David Rodriguez, one of the few humans at the Academy, stood up from his table. He wasn't wealthy, Earth was a developing world, barely a century into interstellar politics. He was there on academic merit, like Zira. Drex sneered. "Seriously, human? You're going to waste your meal on that?" David looked at him with something cold in his eyes. "I'm not wasting anything. I'm sharing with someone who needs it. On my world, we have a word for people who mock the hungry. We call them assholes." The translator rendered the term perfectly. Several students gasped at the insult. David ignored them, guiding Zira to his table. He split his meal in half, pushing the larger portion toward her. "Eat," he said gently. "You look like you're about to collapse." Zira stared at the food, then at him. "Why?" she whispered. "You don't even know me." "Don't need to," David said, starting on his portion. "You're hungry. I have food. That's all the reason I need." Tears finally came. Zira ate, trying not to sob, trying not to devour it all at once. It was the first real meal she'd had in 2 weeks. The next day, David was waiting at lunch with another tray. "You coming?" he asked. She did. And the day after. And the day after that. Other students began to notice. A Vrwenen girl, shamed by David's example, brought extra rations. Then a Corthan who wasn't Drex offered his dessert. Within a week, Zira had more meal offers than she could accept. But she always ate with David first. 3 years later, Zira graduated top of her class. She gave the commencement speech, her gray skin now healthy and gleaming, her forearms gesturing with confidence. "I almost didn't survive my first month here," she told the crowd. "Not because the coursework was too hard, but because I was starving. And my fellow students thought it was funny." She paused. "Then one human showed me what true civilization looks like. Not wealth. Not power. But basic kindness. The simple act of sharing food with someone who has none." She looked directly at David in the audience. Humans are new to the galactic stage. Their worlds are not rich. Their fleets are not mighty. But they possess something we older species have forgotten, they still remember what it means to care for the vulnerable. They remember that strength is measured not by who you can crush, but by who you choose to lift up. David shifted uncomfortably as thousands of eyes turned to him. So when you ask me why humanity deserves a seat at the galactic table, Zira continued, I say this, because they're the only ones who remember that it is a table. A place to share. A place where no one should go hungry while others feast. Ambassador Tsarin, attending the ceremony, made a note. Earth's application for council membership had been pending for years, dismissed as premature. Perhaps, he thought, they'd been measuring the wrong things. That evening, David found Zira on the observatory deck. You didn't have to do that, he said. Make a big speech about me. Zira smiled. You saved my life, David. You gave me food when I was starving, yes. But more than that, you gave me hope. You proved that not everyone in this galaxy is cruel. I just shared my lunch. Exactly, she said. You just shared your lunch. As if it were the most natural thing in the world. As if there were no other choice. She placed a hand on his shoulder. That's what makes humanity extraordinary. You don't even realize how rare that is. David looked out at the stars. On Earth, we have a saying, no one should face the world on an empty stomach. Maybe we're not fancy or rich or powerful. But we remember what it's like to be hungry. And we won't let others suffer it if we can help. That, Zira said softly, is why you'll change the galaxy.